Ooh, hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. GoodTimesWithScar here, and welcome back to the wonderful worlds of Hermit City crafting. And we're down here at the great community dig site, looking out over the incredible progress we have accomplished together. It is absolutely mind-blowing that we truly were able to accomplish what we have so far, because finally, today is the day where we finish this project as much as we possibly can. I'm just absolutely blown away with excitement that we are going to get a huge chunk done. Now, we're not going to be able to finish every single aspect, but we will do it enough where the hermits can finally come down here and start building. This is going to be another 3-day, probably 10 hours of time-lapse footage, which I cannot wait to dive into and see the possibilities that we can do together down here. And if you guys are as excited as I am to finally finish this project, scarify that like button and let's have a state of the build. So let's go up here for a little bit, just past Bob, the creeper building inspector. We'll teleport through the tree and up to the elevator shaft right here, because this is where we originally started this project. So we'll do a little state of the build to kind of see where we are and where we still need to go today. So once we dive down here, eventually we need to transform this area down below into something that's a little bit more appealing around the elevator that Azuma and I created a few weeks back. Now this is stuff that'll come later on. This isn't essential to getting these shops open, but let's kind of push through a little bit more and kind of reveal the tree. So as you can see, once we looked at from the intro there, we have the tree established. The tree still needs a little bit of work on the upper tiers of the area. So, you know, just add some more detail, get some more acacia, get a little bit more hardened clay, spiralize throughout the tree. But the tree, other than that, is nearly complete. I've been working on the lighting, which we'll look at in just a few minutes, but let's take a peek over here at the cliffside. So as you can see, that one looks like a garage door started to open. There's this weird glitched out blocks right there. I thought the garage door was opening. Anyway, that's very strange. But all those little cliff faces, so if you look like right here where these two torches are, these are our smaller facades. So these are shop locations that are slightly smaller, right? So they're not huge. And that's kind of the thing, is we're all going to kind of keep things within scale and to a kind of reasonable design that fits in within the entire area. Now, this is level 1 down below, and this is level 2. These are the areas which are going to be much bigger, way more elaborate, much larger shop facades are going to be built up on this upper level. But let's continue down the way, of course, because in our last episode, we made all of these absolutely beautiful cliffs. Like, look at this awesome archway. It's even got like a little shop kind of tucked away under here, which I think could be really, really cool. Like, think of maybe like Iskall or Tango's kind of devilish designs could maybe be back there. I don't know. I think it could be really cool, kind of hidden away like Nocturne Alley. And of course, we got a really cool, and this is a great shop front here. You got a really cool view of the tree and the river. Also, you got some really good space, and that leads up to the Kumfan waterfall and a tunnel that we built over the weekend on Twitch. So we started to kind of establish the walkway design through here, and I love the perspective coming out of the tunnel and seeing the river and the tree for all of its grandeur. And then down below here, you can see these are already marked out facades for shops. Working our way over here, this is something that I'm really excited about today. We're together going to make an amazing waterfall design, and I cannot wait to do this. So as you can see, it's a 2-tier water, similar to, say, Multnomah Falls in the Columbia River Gorge in Oregon. So something, you know, has like a taller fall and then goes down into a smaller one, so it's a 2-tier. I think that's going to be really fun, and we have this beautiful little archway, which we'll decorate a bit more. That acts as the walkway for tier 2. And of course, we have this really, really cool space over here, which will eventually potentially be my shop down below here, where we're going to do a crystal cave, and I think that's going to look really cool and just add a fun place to fly your elytra through. If I don't choose to do that for my crystal cave, I think I'm going to do maybe this shop. I like this one right here because I love looking out and seeing the waterfall and having it kind of tucked behind the walkway. So this design right here, these pathways that we built about 2 weeks ago, this is the design that we're going to use as a template throughout the entire area. So I think that's going to be really, really awesome. So this design spiralized all the way around the perimeter of the build, which I think will be really cool. But it's just absolutely breathtaking to finally see this place to where we envisioned it way back in the day. And people always ask why I love Minecraft. How do I keep playing? How do I stay inspired? Think of big concepts like this and just just never give up, like never let go of that dream of creating something. And that is what inspires me, is to see those things finally then become a reality. You just have to have that vision and that drive to like stick with it, because in the end, once you see it come together, there is no better feeling within Minecraft, and it just makes you want to jump into the next project. And that leads us to the upper levels. So up here, we're going to build an abandoned castle. So we're going to have some towers, we're going to have some walls, and they're all crumbling away. So I love building in a rustic style, so that's going to be really fun. It'll really kind of give us a complement to our modern style we're building as our main base area. And potentially, if Tango's up for it, like he had mentioned before, he'd love to kind of combine his base with this. Maybe that's why the hermits have been driven underground, was his kind of evil lair base, which is just absolutely fantastic over yonder behind those mountains. But there we go, my friends. That is the state of the build, which, man, I really hope this has inspired you guys and are excited today to finally finish this. I love looking from above and seeing the little spiral staircase leading down the tree. I think that came out really cool. So let's head back over to Scar. Let's rejoin the mind of the Scar and get busy with today's project. It is time to get busy. So this is an actual area of the tree that is 100% complete, which I'm super, super pleased with. There might be a little area here or there where we still have to work with the lighting, but this little section right there is fully done, which is just absolutely fantastic to see. It's making it actually very difficult to get to my storage room now. I gotta like do a little bit of hop and a little bit of jump and a skip to get in here now. But eventually we've got to clear this entire area out and get all of these chests. I mean, I haven't completely disorganized these things at all. No chest monsters at work here at all. So anyway, this is what we've got for supplies today. I've been gathering as much resources as possible and kind of getting them as organized as we can. We still have a few empty boxes over here to fill up because we've got all of our dirt boxes we need to organize. So let's make an entire box full of pod soil. So we'll fill this one up, and then excess we'll do, you know, coarse dirt, things along those lines. One thing I don't have a lot of in this area, let's see, this is coarse dirt. There we go. So we want to grab as much as that as possible. So that's standard dirt, that's coarse dirt. This will take, I wish I was more organized. I do wish I was more organized. Maybe we should have had Azuma build the organization system here. That would have been awesome. But no, we need it at our actual place, because once we finish this, like I said, we're heading back to Scarlandia and start working on some of those things. So one thing I still need to do is grab some grass, and we might actually have to make a quick trip over to Scarlandia to get some, because down here we have 3. There we go, guys. Don't worry. We've got 3 blocks. We'll be able to finish today's project, no problem, with those 3 grass blocks. Back in my little hole in the wall here, we've got plenty of green grass and a little extra spruce leaves for the project. And I miss coming back here. We've got our little parrots. We've got all of our cats. You know what? I'm going to bring some cats with me today. I've been missing the company of some cats. All right, now that we have our cats and green blocks, let's head back. Captain Scar here, making an approach vector for the community build. Down we go through the chute. I love that little detail right there, going down those giant holes into the community area. Originally, like, I used to hit my head and bash myself going down there all the time, but I've actually finally made it through there now. I don't hurt myself, which is actually very nice. Okay, so we've got at least a decent amount of supplies. Let's find a box where we can put our excess for now. There we go. Awesome. So I think we have everything in these boxes that we'll need for a while. I think we can get a huge chunk of progress done with what we have in these shulker boxes to start with there. So what we want to do now is establish a design, find our way like we did in our last episode by starting a little time lapse and kind of establishing a design on this side right over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into super fast build mode and see what we can do about building ourselves a little template which we'll be able to use throughout the design. And we'll meet back up in just a little bit to work on that waterfall. end of super fast build mode, and look at this absolutely beautiful cliffside that we have created in our time lapse. I took a lot of time to really refine down the design and come up with something that we can then use for the entire perimeter around the cliffs of the community area, which I think looks really cool. So we've got work on the top up there, we've got work down in this level, and even down at the water's edge. So let's actually jump down here to start out with. So let's pop on down, and this is one thing that I love, and we've talked about this a few times in our prior episodes, is using the powdered concrete inside the cliffs. I think this just adds so many great elements. So let's actually zoom in here. So stone is very kind of mid-tone heavy, right? Not a lot of shadows, not a lot of highlights, but once you add the powdered concrete, it kind of breaks that up and adds a little bit of a focal point. What was that? Somebody dropping TNT on me? There's no damage over here. What is that, like a ghost creeper? I think we got hit by a ghost creeper. Hashtag ghost creeper in the comments, because I'm pretty sure we got attacked by a ghost creeper. Anyway, so like I said, we've got those details in there, and that is looking super fancy. I love this spot right here. It's just a little rock slide, and adding these kind of elements to your build adds so much variety to it. So add a waterfall, add a dried riverbed, add a little rock slide coming down the pathway. These are the things that break it up and not make it so, you know, symmetrical. So I think this area is definitely looking good. So let's actually pop up to the top, and you'll see some areas that I'd love to still add some improvement. So this area right up here, we've got the dirt kind of clinging to the cliffs. We've got the stone installed, but it is relatively plain in this zone right here. Let's also zoom in here a little bit. So this is all just coarse dirt. So I'd love to come in here and break it up with a little bit of standard dirt. So that adds a little variation, and also add a little bit of hardened clay in this particular region across here. It'll just break that up a little bit. Down in this portion right here, I'm leaving this fairly blank in this area in particular, because this is where the hermits are going to be sawing out all the stone and building up their facade. So I don't want to get too detailed in this area. I'm definitely going to add some more along here and there. Maybe we'll work on that on some live streams. So definitely follow me on Twitter, and of course Twitch to get notified when I go live, so you can take a watch on that. But yeah, this area is starting to look pretty good. So you'll see these areas are highly detailed, but then some of this along here, not so much, because I am leaving that fairly blank so that the hermits can put their own creativity into it. Now, this is what we're going to be working on very soon, and that's a waterfall. And we haven't worked on a waterfall together in quite some time, so I'm actually pretty excited about that. But let's go to the upper tier here and show you this, because this is going to be pretty interesting to see what people do with this. So these are the larger plots in the community build. So down below here, this is kind of a flat area. It's kind of boring, just some standard dirt. I'm leaving that fairly blank so that the hermits can come through here and, excuse me, we're having a conversation here. You interrupt people. Did you ever learn any manners? Did you, skeleton? Did you? Will die with the passion of 1,000 scars. Anyway, so we've got this looking pretty cool. So when people build here, I wanted to leave this fairly blank so they could, you know, add different pathways, maybe some kind of themed elements towards their actual build. Now, going over the waterfall bridge here, this leads us to 2 additional plots in this area. So these are fairly big. Like I said, these are where Hermit has a really cool idea that's on a large scale. They can take these plots right here. Now, moving down to the end, this is actually one of my favorites because, oh, geez, that's a teleporting zombie. Die. There we go. He did. It's fine. So this one's fairly small, right? It's kind of more in line with the lower tier plots down below. But what I decided when I marked this out, this will be incorporated into this. So what is this? This will be plot number 3. So plot number 3 facade main is here, and plot number 3, yeah, plot number 3 facade, you know, B. So this is like a secondary area to it. So, you know, you could build your shop into this whole area, which I think could be really cool. I just love the sound of that, where you can really use your creativity and incorporate your shop into that portion. And this is truly one of my favorite views, where you can really see the meandering pathways throughout the entire community area. Absolutely amazing. And just to think, we're getting so close to being done. Like, that just fills me full of inspiration and energy to hit the home stretch here and actually finish this. But we got to head over to Scarlandia once again, grab some shulker shells from our live stream, and go get some more dirt, because surprisingly, I'm out of dirt. Back in the Scarlandia hole in the wall, we've got a bunch of shells from our adventure into the end on the live stream over the weekend, which is looking pretty sweet. Like, now let's take that real quick and let's see if we can make a couple of these guys. I thought I had some chests on me. Like, I was just holding them. Oh, there they are, those sneaky things. There we go. Let's see how many we get out of that. There we go. That's how we roll. So we're gonna need actually a whole bunch more of these for our storage system that the wonderful Azuma built us. But I think that is plenty for what we need to do now. So we need to head to the deep, dark ocean and get some more gravel for our coarse dirt. And we need to get a bunch more dirt. So I'm gonna find a place here where we can mine out a bunch of dirt and see how much we can finally get. And I'll meet you back at the community area so we can start our waterfall. Why can't I move? Ow, this block is totally in my way. I'll meet you guys back in just a minute. Oh, I've made terrible decisions. I've made terrible, terrible decisions here. I should never have been out here in the dark. Oh, so many horrible babies. Oh, the babies are horrible. All right, we're gonna make a retreat. We're gonna make a retreat. Don't go mining at night. Look at them, they can't get. What the heck? No, get them, dogs. Get them, get them. No, my dogs are failures. My dogs are failures. Here comes the parrot, guys. We're all fine. Everybody calm down. We got this. The parrot's here. I'm gonna sleep the night away like a true professional Minecrafter would. Welcome back, and we're down here at the community build after we've got our new set of supplies. So we've got our shulker box, and of course a whole new set of dirt, coarse dirt, and of course some powdered concrete. And it's nice to have made it through that whole thing without dying down at Scarlandia. Under those roads, things get pretty scary. No, I died. I'm not going to tell you how I died because that's just embarrassing. But it happened, and that's okay. We all die eventually. So as you guys can see, we've got our waterfall set up and ready to roll, and it's gonna be amazing. So what I wanna do is I wanna have a little waterfall flow down here, and this will be just a little retention pond area right there, and then the water will flow from that down through here, and I want this walkway to actually go through the river. I think it'll just be something a little bit different than the upper tier, where we have that bridge that kind of goes over. So this is just a little spot that you kind of hop through the water. It just has that extra little difference in each area, so we're not repetitively doing the same thing, and that's difficult to do in something of this size, right? We're building this gigantic thing, and it's difficult not to create too many repetitive patterns. So I think this is just one of those little things that helps break it up. So of course, what we need to do now is we need to start kind of, jazzing up the sides a little bit. But the first thing we got to do, of course, is I really wish I had an ender pearl. You know what? I'm just going to grab one. I got this whole ender chest here. I've got my beam me up. Yeah, that's right. I got my beam me up box. There we go. So we'll throw that in there. Boom, and bam. Saw the cat head in there. I know, it's amazing. It's just absolutely beautiful. So oh, never mind. Oh my gosh, I'm such a professional. Gotta get some water. This is the Ender Pearl episode, everyone. Just on our Ender Pearl adventures. Together or not, we're gonna go on an Ender Pearl adventure. All right, so what I'm thinking about is back right here. This is where the actual river is going to flow. Now, I was wondering, should I have the waterfall flow from the very top up here? So the waterfall would flow down here and then cascade over to there. Or should we kind of open this section up and just have the river flow through here on that plane? So at that level, not have something come down and fill this area. So then it would be 2 waterfalls. Oh man, you know what? No, we're not gonna do it. We're gonna do a 3-tone water. So waterfall here, waterfall, waterfall there, and waterfall there. 3 waterfalls. That's gonna be amazing. Okay, so let's put that there and let's kind of scaffold over here. Good, I'm glad we did that. Problem solving with Scar. Oh, wow. We actually placed this in our very first episode. Wow. It's been a long time since we placed that. So what I want to do is I want to open up this section, right? Just make it look like there's a little kind of hole in the wall and water's flowing down here. I think that's actually going to look really cool. So we build up a little bit of scaffolding. So I'm going to build up a little bit and kind of open this up and create a nice pattern. And I'll catch you guys in just one second. And there we go. We've carved out some little areas here and there. So it looks like the water has kind of eroded the cliff along the side there, kind of roughed up the rock, added some powdered concrete. Looks like I need to work a little bit more up here. Maybe add just an extra piece or two. I think it'll balance that out just a little bit more. It looks kind of funny just being one little line of it. But anyway, let's actually shoot over there with our ender pearls. There we go. We're making good use of these things today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place that right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot back over there. Wait, wow, just super lag there. Look at that. That is looking really cool, especially back here. So once we jump down here, you can see how the water kind of cascades downwards. And this is where we can actually put a couple extra bricks here and there. And then this, hopefully, there we go. That's what I wanted. I wanted to get a little bit of a rougher flow on this section right there. So if I could build that up just a little bit more, if I can get it to be maybe to right there, that's a good looking waterfall right there. So we'll push that up to about, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. I want to pull that back a little bit, and I'll put this right there. Yes, there we go. See how it looks like it kind of hits this water and then, or the rock there, and then it kind of bounces off and then flows this way. Yeah, that looks much better. Oh, I love it. Love it to bits. Okay, so then moving back here, this is where we can start to maybe take some of the dirt. So this is more stone because the water flows a little faster through this area. So you wouldn't picture a lot of dirt on the sides. It would be washed away. Whereas over in this little corner over here, you'd picture the water to be a little slower and not as much power to erode this section of the cliff a little bit. So just think in those terms when you're terraforming, kind of adds just that extra little bit more realism to it, that this is a little bit calmer, a little bit more gentle, so the cliffs don't get as eroded. I made all that up. I think that's true. I think that's true. It makes sense to my mind. In the comments, please tell me that makes sense, please. Or maybe it doesn't make sense. You can tell me why that doesn't make sense. But to me, it makes sense. So I did it. And that's the way it's going to be until you guys tell me otherwise. Anyway, I think this is looking cool. So start out a little powdered concrete, a little coarse dirt, and now we can mix in just a little bit of pod soil. There we go. Kind of the forgotten dirt, really. You know, pod soil is kind of the forgotten dirt. Not a lot of love for the pod soil. You know, it's difficult to go and find. It's kind of always hidden away in its mega taigas and things along those lines. But I like to give a little love to the well, gotta give a little love to it once in a while. So adding a little bit more hardened clay just to kind of add a little bit of a shadow. So you can almost picture this in terms of the stone similar to the powdered concrete we use to add highlights up there, right there. So in this area, we're kind of adding shadows into the dirt using the darker of the, what is this called? Hardened clay. So I think that'll be pretty cool. That'll look very, very nice. So trying to give you guys some terraforming tips. You guys have been asking for them a lot, and I haven't done a ton of them recently. So hopefully that that gives you a little inspiration or a little insight into my mind when I'm terraforming. So adding just a little bit of green to kind of break up all the brown we're using in this section. See how we bring that in? You use it fairly sparingly here and there, so not too crazy. There we go. And now what we can do is start to add some of the detail up here. So just throw in some of this, really rough up the stone, and I think that's going to look really cool. So taking this design, taking what we've done over there, and bringing it all the way down to this waterfall and down to that one. And once we do that, we'll have one super awesome triple waterfall. That's pretty cool to say, the triple waterfall. Anyway, let me keep working on this. I'll meet you down at the bottom. Welcome back. And as you can see, the waterfall is a-flowing and it is looking absolutely beautiful. Oh man, I am at awe of this design because I really feel like it is going to capture the entire design that we have been just so striving for. And I think once the hermits get in here and start enjoying this thing, and these things just add atmosphere, right? When you start adding waterfalls and streams and the landscaping, it's really the character that makes the entire thing special. So we got this thing flowing. We got some rocks all built around there. There is a missing block right there. And I did not know about that, and now I can't stop thinking about it. I don't have any acacia to fix it. But yeah, we've got this looking really cool. We need to, of course, work on lighting, and I still want to add a few more details. That's why I brought some of this with me here. I want to add some more kind of rocks just kind of floating around in the water like this. I think that adds a lot of extra little detail around the edges here and there. It just gives it, look at this little bit of detail right there. It just gives it more definition. Yeah, maybe that's not for everybody, but I kind of like it in a way. I think that looks cool. We've got this area all sorted out, got some ferns. So let's flow down the waterfall to here. And I added just a little bit of hardened clay around the edges. What I'm kind of going with that is I kind of feel like it's kind of like wet soil. Does that make sense? Having the actual hardened clay as kind of soil there that's been wet, so it's a little bit darker. So I was thinking about maybe adding a little bit around the edges here just to kind of, oh, no, not right there. Maybe right there. Very nice. So put that right there. And then I'm going to jump over here and grab a bucket, give that a quick little plop. There we go. Looking sweet. But yeah, I think that looks good. I think that plays in with the theme that this is kind of wet soil along there. Now let's throw in maybe one right there for fun. And now let's go down this waterfall to the bottom. I've been working on the actual design of the rock under the water here, as you can see. And I'm not 100% satisfied with it. Oh gosh, that's Bob the Career Building Inspector. He's inspecting the new waterfall. Oh, I don't appreciate that. So we're gonna stand right here. And so as you can see, I'm not 100% satisfied with this. What are you doing over there, Bob? what are you doing? Are you acting as a water slide? You know, if you're doing that, then I'm okay with that. As long as you're not blowing anything up, you're not criticizing the build, then I'm totally fine. Cub, I need your help. Cub, turn around. He's coming for me. Cub, save me. Escape, Cub, be the hero that I've always desired. That I've always needed, Cub. Quick, thank you. Oh, that's pretty funny. That is pretty funny. Let's finish him off. There we go. Anyway, back to work. Look at Cub. He's just watching out over all the creatures around here. I appreciate that, Cub. Thank you. So what we need to do is we need to deepen this water across here. And then right here, let's just throw in another block right there. And then we're going to add just a little bit more detail like that. There we go. Look at those little pieces like that. Just looks like just little details like that really make the whole thing come together, really. And there's lots more we could do back here in terms of detail. Maybe even bringing out some I thought I heard another creeper. Did you hear a creeper? I totally thought I did. So just like a little bit of vines, because back here, you know, there's a lot of water, there's a lot of moisture, things along those lines. So you might have a little bit more kind of growth around the edges like that. So I think that helps kind of tie that in a little bit. Beautiful. So let's go down the water here. And of course, this is the walkway that the hermits kind of walk across the stones to get across. And these are just the things that kind of break up the monotony of the entire area, right? We kind of get to the point where we kind of have repetitive designs here or there, but these are the things that break it up and make it look a little bit better. So down at the lower tier, and of course there's a mob like just, you know, bathing down here, which I appreciate. A zombie can be smelly. Those are smelly creatures, and him down here bathing, I appreciate that, but I did have to kill him. So it's kind of pointless in the end for him to do that, but that's okay. So let me just throw in a stair back here. So I can never end adding detail. Like I could just do this forever. Just forever. Just detail, 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 never ends. Anyway, so I think that's looking really cool. And I wonder what this looks like from above. So let's grab out our ender pearls here, our trusty ender pearls. And then let's shoot up there and look down. Oh, that does look like Molten Normal Falls. Now, Molten Normal Falls is going to be a little taller at the top portion right there, but that's okay. That still looks nice. And then let's shoot up over here. And I want to get in another perspective. There we go. That is absolutely fantastic. Absolutely love it. Let's get a little zoom in from the bottom and then bringing it up. I kind of feel like this is one of the more natural waterfalls that we've ever created together. Let's go up to the very top and see if we can see all three of them. There it is. We can see all three of them. Oh, that is absolutely fantastic. So what we need to do now is we need to jump back into super fast build mode and complete this entire thing. This is gonna be quite a challenge, but I think we can do it. So like I said, hit it one more time, hit that super fast build mode. end of super fast build mode. And after hours and days, we now have completed Hermit City. So we have started out on Monday. It is now Friday at 10 p.m. and I've done as much as I possibly can. So there is a ton more work to do with the lighting and the ceiling and a lot of little areas to fix up here and there. But for all intents and purposes, the hermits can come down here and open up their shops in all the plots that we have arranged. So you can see all of these little square facades scattered throughout the entire area. These are the places where the hermits can open up their shops finally in the area, which is so absolutely amazing to finally see this place come to a completion that it can be, you know, lived in. People can come on down here and open up a shop, and I'm just so absolutely blown away by the work that we've all done here together. Let's actually take a quick land right here, and these are some of the details. Like, look at this cliff. Now, of course, there's areas of refinement, right? There's areas that I love to kind of, you know, clean up a little bit right here and there. I love this little rock slide that kind of flows down the hill right here. But it's done. I mean, we've been working on this from the very start of the season, and it's taken a long time. Like, look at this pathway and all the little details throughout the area. It takes time to work with this much texture, right? If we were just coming down here with 1, 3, 4 at the most blocks, but we've really gone crazy with the texture, which I'm happy about. Like, this is what I wanted to do, and this is what we've accomplished, which is really exciting to have a vision in your head and just, you know, go at it till the end there. And we finally completed. Blood, sweat, and tears, virtual and real life, have gone into this, and I'm pretty excited about it. I really hope you guys have enjoyed this project. I hope it has inspired you for your own community builds. And out to the hermits, I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you find it inspiring for your shops and all those things. So until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and I always really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos. And if you believe the video deserved a rating, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, we'll see you later. And don't forget to subscribe, because you may just become scarred for life.